1. Control what you can. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by things you simply can't change? Traffic, rude comments, bad weather. Unexpected setbacks, they seem to come out of nowhere and throw our entire day off track. But what if you could take back your power, not by changing the world around you, but by shifting how you respond to it? That's exactly what Stoicism teaches us. The ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus said it best, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This one principle can completely change your life. We often waste our energy trying to control things outside of us, other people's opinions, external events, random inconveniences. But in truth, we don't have control over any of that. What we do have full control over is our attitude, thoughts, and actions. Let's say you're stuck in traffic, running late, and getting angry. You honk, sigh, and feel your blood pressure rising. The cars ahead of you aren't going to move faster just because you're frustrated. Now imagine instead, you take a deep breath. Accept the situation, and use the time to listen to an audiobook or enjoy your favorite playlist. The traffic is the same, but you are different. That's the power of focusing on what you can control. Modern psychology backs this up, too. Carl Jung once said, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." That's Stoicism in a nutshell, turning reaction into reflection, and stress into strength. Every day brings new challenges. But the Stoic mindset reminds us, ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, let it go. Redirect that energy inward. Your peace of mind, your personal growth, your emotional resilience, they all begin with this simple but powerful shift. When you live this way, life doesn't get easier, but you get stronger. And that strength changes everything. 2. The obstacle is the way. When life throws a wrench into your plans, it's easy to get frustrated, discouraged, or even paralyzed. Most of us are taught to see obstacles as roadblocks, something to avoid or push through as quickly as possible. But Stoicism flips that idea completely. The Stoics believe that obstacles aren't the end of the road, they are the road. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and one of the most well-known Stoic philosophers, once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." That might sound counterintuitive at first, but think about it, challenges force us to grow. They test our character. They reveal what we're really made of. In the Stoic mindset, every obstacle is an opportunity in disguise. Take rejection, for example. Maybe you've been turned down for jobs, ignored after an important pitch, or ghosted after putting yourself out there. That stings. But what if you saw each rejection not as a failure, but as feedback? A lesson? A redirection? Suddenly, the rejection becomes part of the process that sharpens you and points you to something better. The same goes for personal struggles, conflict with a loved one, a failed project, even moments of deep self-doubt. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" the Stoics encourage us to ask, "What can I learn from this?" Every tough moment holds a lesson if we're willing to face it head-on. Even modern psychology supports this. As Carl Jung said, what you resist, persists. Fighting obstacles only makes them stronger. But when we embrace them, when we learn from them, we transform them into stepping stones. This mindset doesn't make challenges disappear, but it gives us power. It helps us stop seeing ourselves as victims and start seeing ourselves as resilient problem solvers. So the next time you face something hard, try to pause and reframe it. That wall in front of you, it might be the very thing that teaches you how to climb. And once you do, you'll be stronger than you ever imagined. 3. Live in the present. We've all heard the advice. Live in the moment. But how often do we actually do it? In a world filled with constant distractions, looming deadlines, and the never-ending scroll of social media, Staying present feels almost impossible. Yet, Stoic philosophy teaches us that the present moment is the only place where life truly happens, and it's the only place where we have any real power. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." He understood what modern psychology now confirms: our mental health, clarity, and happiness improve dramatically when we're grounded in the now. Worrying about tomorrow or replaying yesterday's mistakes only pulls us away from the richness of this moment. Living in the present doesn't mean ignoring the past or neglecting the future. It means finding balance. We learn from the past and plan for the future, but we live in the now. Whether it's enjoying your morning coffee, listening deeply to a friend, or feeling the breeze on your face, these simple moments are where life happens. And too often, we miss them. Carl Jung pointed out that even the smallest thing done with meaning is more valuable than the biggest act done without it. Stoicism agrees. Being mindful of the present adds meaning to our daily lives and strengthens our connection to ourselves and others. So how do we practice this? Start small. When you eat, taste your food. When someone speaks, truly listen. When your mind wanders into worry, gently guide it back. These small acts of mindfulness train your brain to stay rooted in the now. Seneca wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future." That's the heart of it. By embracing the present, we let go of anxiety, deepen our gratitude, and discover peace. This moment, right here, is where life is happening. Don't miss it. Embrace it. Because now is all we ever really have. 4. Self-discipline. When most people hear the word self-discipline, they imagine a life full of strict rules, sacrifice, and zero fun. But in Stoic philosophy, self-discipline isn't about punishing yourself, it's about empowering yourself. It's about making choices that align with your values, even when they're not easy. It's about saying yes to what truly matters, and no to what distracts you from becoming who you want to be. Marcus Aurelius said it best, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. That strength is self-discipline. It's the quiet force that helps you stay focused when distractions are loud. It's what helps you get up early to pursue your goals, save money instead of spending impulsively, or choose the gym over another episode on Netflix. Self-discipline is freedom. It's the freedom to live intentionally, not reactively. And while the rewards aren't always instant, the long-term benefits are undeniable: more clarity, more peace, more progress. The Stoics believed that true excellence comes from habit. Aristotle once said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're building that habit. You're becoming stronger, more capable, and more in control of your life. Even Seneca warned against being a slave to our desires. He reminded us that being ruled by impulses leads to chaos, while mastering them leads to a meaningful and fulfilling life. So how do you build self-discipline? Start small. Pick one habit, like journaling, meditating, or cutting out distractions during work, and stick to it. When it gets hard, and it will, remind yourself, you're training your mind like a muscle. With every rep, you grow. Epictetus said, "No great thing is created suddenly." That includes self-mastery. It's a daily choice, a journey of progress, not perfection. So the next time you're tempted to quit or give in, pause. Ask yourself, is this action serving who I want to become? Then act with intention. That's the Stoic way. That's real strength. 5. Emotional resilience. Life isn't always smooth sailing. We all get hit with moments of anger, sadness, frustration, or fear. It's part of being human. But what makes the biggest difference isn't whether we feel these emotions, it's how we handle them. That's where emotional resilience comes in. And for the Stoics, Mastering this skill was essential to living a strong and meaningful life. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That strength is emotional resilience. It's the ability to stay calm in the chaos, to face hardship without crumbling, and to bounce back from life's toughest moments with clarity and purpose. Being emotionally resilient doesn't mean you suppress your feelings or pretend everything's fine. It means you acknowledge what you feel, then choose how to respond instead of reacting blindly. Seneca believed that adversity tests our character, and by staying composed through emotional storms, we grow wiser and stronger. So how do we build this inner toughness? It starts with self-awareness. Take a pause when emotions hit. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? What triggered this? Instead of letting your feelings control you, you begin to understand them, and with understanding comes control. Carl Jung talked about the importance of integrating all parts of ourselves, including our emotional side, to become whole. Emotional resilience is part of that integration. It allows us to experience emotion, reflect on it, and still act in line with our values. Try small steps, journal about your emotions. Talk to someone you trust, or practice deep breathing during stressful moments. These simple habits build your emotional muscle over time. Remember the wisdom of Epictetus. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your reaction is your power. It shapes your experience, and your future. Emotional resilience won't make pain disappear. But it will help you navigate it with strength, dignity, and purpose. And every time you do, you become a little more unshakable. 6. Memento mori. It might sound a little dark at first, remember you will die. But to the Stoics, this wasn't about fear. It was about focus. The Latin phrase memento mori reminds us that life is short and fragile, and that's exactly why we should live it fully, with purpose and intention. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." It's a powerful wake-up call. Too often, we live like we have all the time in the world. We delay our dreams, hold grudges, and get stuck in routines that don't reflect who we truly are. But when we keep mortality in mind, everything sharpens. Every moment becomes more valuable. Seneca echoed this idea, warning against wasting time on things that don't truly matter. He believed that being mindful of death was the key to appreciating life. If we knew how short our time was, would we still scroll endlessly through social media? Would we put off calling someone we love? Would we stay in jobs or relationships that drain us? This isn't about becoming morbid. It's about getting real. Memento mori helps us cut through the noise and focus on what truly counts, our values, our relationships, our inner peace. It reminds us to be present, to love fiercely, and to act with courage, even when it's uncomfortable. Epictetus also taught that accepting the nature of life, including death, allows us to live more freely. We stop fearing the inevitable and start embracing the time we do have. So, what have you been putting off? A dream? A tough but honest conversation? A change you've been scared to make? Let memento mori inspire you, not to fear death, but to honor life. Let it remind you that today is not just another day. It's a chance, a gift, to be fully alive, on your own terms. Live boldly. Love deeply. Leave nothing meaningful unsaid. Because the truth is, when we remember we will die, we finally learn how to live. 7. Practice gratitude. In a world that constantly tells us we need more success, more followers, more stuff, it's easy to overlook what we already have. But the Stoics taught us something profoundly simple and powerful: true happiness doesn't come from getting more, but from appreciating what's already in front of us. That's the heart of gratitude. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. That's not just poetic, it's a mindset shift. We often wake up already stressed, focused on what's missing or what's wrong. But when we start our day with gratitude, we set the tone for more joy, more patience, and more meaning. Seneca warned us about the endless chase for more. He believed that desiring too much pulls us away from contentment. His advice? Stop reaching so far ahead and start appreciating what's already within your grasp. Whether it's a warm meal, a genuine laugh, or just a quiet moment to yourself, these are not small things. These are the moments that make a life. Epictetus took it even further. He taught that no matter our circumstances, there's always something we can be grateful for. And when we focus on that, we transform our perspective. We begin to see our lives not as lacking, but as full, often in ways we never noticed before. So how can you bring more gratitude into your daily life? It's simple. Each day, take a few minutes to name 3 things you're thankful for. Write them down, say them out loud, or just hold them in your mind. They don't have to be big. In fact, the smaller and more specific, the better. Gratitude doesn't erase our problems, but it reminds us that life isn't just about what's hard. It's also about what's beautiful. As the Stoics remind us, we already have so much to be thankful for, we just need to pause long enough to see it. 8. Personal excellence. In a world obsessed with external success, titles, likes, and status, it's easy to forget what true achievement really looks like. For the Stoics, personal excellence wasn't about impressing others. It was about living in alignment with your values. Showing up with integrity, and striving to become the best version of yourself, not for applause, but for purpose. Marcus Aurelius put it simply. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. That's the core of Stoic wisdom. It's not about talking the talk, it's about walking it, every day. Personal excellence is about action, character, and consistency. Seneca believed that self-improvement and growth were lifelong pursuits. To him, excellence meant living in harmony with nature and reason, doing what's right, even when it's hard. That might mean choosing honesty when it's inconvenient, patience when you feel irritated, or courage when you're afraid. Epictetus taught that we're responsible for our own behavior, no matter what's happening around us. His message was clear. We can't always control what life throws at us, but we can always control our attitude, effort, and choices. That's the foundation of excellence. In real life, personal excellence doesn't look flashy. It's getting up early to work on your goals. It's holding your tongue in an argument. It's admitting when you're wrong and learning from it. It's about resilience, humility, and doing your best, especially when no one's watching. Aristotle said, excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It's not something you're born with, it's something you build, day by day, decision by decision. So ask yourself, am I living in a way I'm proud of? Are my choices shaping the kind of person I want to become? Excellence isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional. It's about progress over time, self-respect over external praise, and becoming someone you can genuinely admire. And when you live like that, authentically, consistently, and with purpose, you don't just succeed. You thrive. 9. Stop chasing approval. In today's world, it's easy to fall into the trap of chasing validation, from likes on social media to approval from coworkers, friends, or even strangers. But here's a powerful truth the Stoics understood centuries ago: your worth doesn't come from other people's opinions, it comes from within. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Every man loves himself more than all the rest of men, but yet sets less value on his own opinion of himself than on the opinions of others." Think about that. We care deeply about our lives. Yet we often let others decide how we feel about ourselves. It's backwards. And it's exhausting. The Stoics believe that real freedom comes when we stop trying to please everyone and start living in alignment with our own values. Seneca reminded us that we should aim to live a life true to ourselves, not one shaped by the shifting expectations of others. You can't control how people perceive you. But you can control whether you're acting with integrity, honesty, and purpose. Epictetus put it bluntly. Worrying about others' opinions is a waste of time, because those opinions are completely out of your control. What matters is your character, your actions. And whether you can look yourself in the mirror and feel proud of who you are. So how do you break free from the approval trap? Start by asking yourself this. Am I making this choice because it's right for me, or because I want someone else to like me? When you choose authenticity over acceptance, you reclaim your power. Being true to yourself means being okay with not being for everyone. And that's not just acceptable, it's healthy. When you stop chasing validation, you attract the right people and experiences into your life, the ones that match who you truly are. You are not your follower count. You are not your job title. You are not what others say or think. You are your principles. Your intentions. Your growth. And once you believe that, their opinions lose their grip, and your confidence begins to rise from a place no one can touch. 10. Accept change. Change is one of the few guarantees in life, and yet, it's something many of us struggle with. We cling to what's familiar, resist the unexpected, and often view change as something to fear. But to the Stoics, change wasn't an enemy, it was a teacher. It was a constant reminder that life is fluid. And growth can only happen when we're willing to evolve. Marcus Aurelius captured this perfectly when he wrote, "Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny." For what could more aptly fit your needs? His words aren't about giving up, they're about leaning in. The Stoics believe that everything, even what seems difficult or disruptive, is part of a larger design meant to shape us into wiser, stronger human beings. Seneca warned against becoming too attached to our current circumstances. He knew that things would inevitably change, relationships, jobs, routines, even our own thoughts and feelings. If we resist, we suffer. But if we learn to flow with change, we open ourselves up to new experiences, perspectives, and growth. Epictetus taught that while we can't control the events that life throws at us, we can control our response. And that includes how we deal with change. Whether it's a move, a breakup, a career shift, or just the unpredictability of daily life, we can choose to face it with acceptance and grace. So how do we do that? First, we remind ourselves that change is natural. Seasons change. People grow. Nothing stays the same, and that's okay. Second, we practice being present. The more we focus on the here and now, the less fear we hold for what's to come. And finally, we ask, what can I learn from this? Because every change, no matter how uncomfortable, carries a lesson. Change won't always be easy. But it doesn't have to break you. With a Stoic mindset, it can build you into someone more adaptable, more resilient, and more aligned with life's ever-evolving path. 11. Compassion and empathy. In a world that often feels divided, fast-paced, and self-centered, compassion and empathy are more important than ever. The Stoics, often seen as stern and emotionless, actually placed deep value on human connection and kindness. They believe that how we treat others is a reflection of our character and a key part of living a virtuous life. Marcus Aurelius once said, "What brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee." He saw humanity as a collective, a shared experience where our well-being is tied to the well-being of others. When we lift others up, we rise too. When we offer understanding instead of judgment, we create space for peace, in ourselves and in the world around us. Seneca encouraged us to approach others with generosity and grace. Even those who wrong us, he said, deserve empathy. Why? Because behind every action, there's a reason, often pain, fear, or misunderstanding. Seeing that doesn't excuse bad behavior, but it does help us respond with wisdom rather than anger. Epictetus reminded us that we can't control other people, but we can choose how we respond to them. And when we choose to respond with compassion, we free ourselves from resentment and bitterness. That's real strength, not reacting with hostility, but leading with understanding. Practicing compassion starts with listening, truly listening. Not to reply, but to understand. Put yourself in someone else's shoes. Ask yourself, what might they be going through? This small mental shift builds empathy, and empathy builds connection. Kindness doesn't have to be grand. A thoughtful message. A moment of patience. A smile. These simple acts can ripple out in powerful ways. And in showing up for others, we often find healing ourselves. As Aristotle said, meaningful relationships are rooted in empathy and shared humanity. When we treat others with dignity and care, we don't just make the world better, we make ourselves better, too. So let's lead with compassion. Not because the world always deserves it, but because it's who we choose to be. 12. Reflection and self-review. In a world that's constantly pushing us to move faster, do more, and stay busy, we often forget to pause and look inward. But the Stoics believed that reflection and self-review weren't optional, they were essential. Taking time to examine your thoughts, choices, and actions is one of the most powerful tools for personal growth. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, practiced this daily. His personal writings, what we now call meditations, weren't meant for anyone else. They were reflections, reminders to himself about how to live better. He asked tough questions. Did I act with integrity? Was I patient? Did I live according to my values? Through this honest self-examination, he stayed grounded and purposeful, even while leading an empire. Seneca also spoke of the importance of reflection. He likened life to a play, reminding us that we all have roles to play, and it's up to us to perform them with meaning and intention. Reviewing our behavior helps us correct our course, just like a captain adjusts a ship's direction when winds change. Epictetus encouraged his students to end each day with a simple review. What did I do well? Where did I fall short? What could I improve tomorrow? This kind of reflection isn't about self-criticism, it's about self-awareness. It's not about being perfect. It's about being honest. So how do you make reflection a habit? Start small. Set aside a few quiet minutes at the end of your day. Write in a journal, or just think back over your actions. Celebrate your wins. Own your mistakes. And most importantly, ask yourself, am I becoming the person I want to be? Aristotle believed that the unexamined life isn't worth living, and he was right. When we reflect, we learn. When we learn, we grow. And when we grow, we move closer to the best version of ourselves. Reflection is your reset. It's your chance to realign with your values and make tomorrow better than today. Don't just live. Live consciously. Live intentionally.